Euro semifinal predictions, y'all. Make sure you leave a like and hit subscribe for more Euro content here on Deadball TV. First up, we're going to take it to my boy Spain, who are battling the French in the semifinal, which I can only describe as the most entertaining team versus the most boring team at the Euros so far. That being said, I think boring, unfortunately in this case, might also be synonymous with highly effective. And as a Spaniard myself, I'm a little worried here.
I think you should be. I mean, just to talk about France, you saw that big cup that I just slammed. It was filled with hundreds and hundreds of milligrams of caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you need in order to talk about France, to watch France. I mean, they're a far cry from the team that went 3-3 with Argentina in the World Cup final. Yeah. Ultimately losing, that is. But they just don't look like they play that open. And I understand that it's probably just tactics that they used on the day, and you play to fit the opponent, et cetera, but such conservative style of play has proven highly effective both for them and for England. England looks significantly scarier at times, like shaky, not more threatening.
Yeah.
I think France
like
still holds
vulnerable.
more vulnerable.
Yeah, I agree with that.
England has definitely had a rougher time of it.
Yes.
France seems to have it executed perfectly. And something else that you mentioned, because I am on your side about Spain. I'm 100% going for Spain. They are the last team that I care about, that I enjoy in this tournament. So, vamos España.
Vamos España.
However, the French lads are big.
They're big and they're fast, man.
They're big, they're fast, they're athletic, and you might not like the style of football that they play, but they're doing it. They're executing it perfectly.
I think that's why France look defensively way less tested than what England have been so far, which is crazy because France have had the harder games, substantially harder games, I would argue, and it doesn't matter because that back line, Saliba, Koundé, they're going to lock Upamecano. I mean, he's not like the greatest on-ball defender, but dude's just an athlete. They just got athletes back there. And I feel like Spain's biggest attack, the thing that's been scaring everybody in this tournament, Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, that quick pace, I feel like it's going to be neutralized. Because you also got Teo Hernandez versus Lamine Yamal. I mean, this is probably Yamal's, it might be his hardest matchup ever.
Yes, I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think it will be. I think that Spain has the agility over France. Maybe in an out-and-out foot race, I don't know, but they probably accelerate a little bit faster than France. That being said, that athleticism and just the size of these guys is going to be detrimental. Not to mention, Spain has a solid back line, but Thuram's a big lad. And if he remains the starting nine, I think we both agree that he isn't an exceptional finisher. Like, looking at Thuram, you're like, this is the best the French can muster.
Yeah.
Like, this goes against everything that we've been told, that we've seen from France. It just doesn't make sense that they would have Thuram starting. Like, seems subpar. But he's big. He's a big freaking lad. If you go body to body with the defenders probably 2 or 3 times, they're probably going to be a bit shaken.
Yeah.
They're going to be a bit shaken. Yeah. And he is an athlete. Say what you will about his finishing, which I will comment on that, but he's an athlete. And that's always threatening.
I think that's the biggest weakness for Spain, which is exactly what I talked about in the first game, which was set pieces. I was like, Spain does not have the bodies or the personnel to constantly defend like a trebuchet assault. You know what I'm saying? Like, and against Germany, we saw that. It was like, these crosses are going to be dangerous, especially when full crew comes on. De Normand, Nacho, Cucurella, Carvajal, these are not studs in the air by any means.
No.
And we saw Germany equalize off an ugly goal from, launching balls in the box. And they won a couple more headers. They just couldn't keep them on target. And now you're doing the same thing. Like, the weakness is still there, except now, instead of, Rudiger and Jonathan Tah, it's William Saliba and it's Upamecano. And it's Thuram. So this is still a very, very tough matchup.
Tough.
I think Spain has a better midfield. I really do. I think Fabian Ruiz is arguably the player of the tournament so far. And I think that Spain will have a little bit more possession because Deschamps will also, he'll cede possession. He doesn't care. And if French was the world's language, they would be getting dragged just as hard as England is right now.
Yeah.
But they are protected by nobody being able to read their media. And nobody watches the French league. Like, I'm serious. Like, that's the protection right now.
I mean, they're getting clowned at the United Nations.
Right now. Yes, absolutely.
At the UN.
Yeah.
Because isn't that the second language of the UN?
The Dutch delegation is certainly laughing.
Oh, the Dutch delegation in the DMs right now.
Yeah, for sure. But there's also, it used to be like a French territory, so
they clapping right back.
Any opportunity that they get to throw shade at the French, they will certainly take.
Will.
What's your prediction for this game?
I really don't know what to predict, but it's going to be a really interesting blend of. I wonder which team will adapt to who, because I think you see two different situations. If you see Spain meeting the French in a more pragmatic part of the game, right? Or play of the game, style of the game. You can tell it's early here. Flow of the game.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, we'll stick with flow of the game. If they meet them in a more pragmatic flow of the game, I think
the chakras align.
If the chakras, Buddha willing, the chakras align, and they meet them in a pragmatic part of the game, flow of the game, damn it, then I think you're looking at something like a 1-1 and heading to pens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you maybe even look at a French 2-1. I think the French have the edge if the Spanish meet them there. Now, if the French go high-flying offense and they want to play toe-to-toe with Spain, if Spain scores first, the French are going to have no choice but to.
No choice, yeah.
Yeah. So I think if Spain scores first, I think it could end in a 2-1 Spain.
I think Spain win 1-0.
You think so?
Because I don't see France conceding more than one goal.
Yeah.
I just don't. They've been so solid this entire tournament.
They have.
I think what helps Spain is that Kylian Mbappe is obviously at like 85%. So that's a plus. The French midfield is honestly inept. But on the flip side, I believe Carvajal's suspended. Pedri got injured in the last game. So minimum, we're missing 2 guys in the regular starting 11.
Yep.
That, multiplied by the special formula that is patented and top secret, and I cannot divulge that on the channel here. I have Spain winning 1-0, and I think it's going to be an extra time. I'm going to be stunned if this game does not go to extra time.
Shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to hope it does as well. I think I would be pretty.
Am I wrong to say if you're a neutral, you want Spain? Is that my bias, Sean?
Potentially, I think a lot of people like Conte and a lot of people like Mbappe. But if you like Mbappe, does that make you a neutral? Are you a neutral if you like Mbappe? Because I don't think you are.
You're an ethnic neutral.
What?
You're an ethnic neutral. Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means that you're not supporting the French. You're supporting a Frenchman.
Okay. Yes. So what does that make me?
Who are you supporting? Spain? You're
Argentina.
Not a neutral. Well, if you're supporting Argentina, you're supporting Spain.
Absolutely not.
What do you mean?
We've been 2 separate bodies for
decades. We gave you the language.
Hundreds of years.
The language that you hold so close to your heart.
No. We appropriated your language, and we made it better. Improved it in every way, shape, and form.
I would say it's got a little.
You
worse.
listen to Gerard Piqué speak for 15 minutes, and then you listen to.
How dare you utter that man's name?
Maybe you listen to. This is a pro Shakira podcast. How dare you bring him into conversation? That's what I'm saying. I'm clowning the way he speaks.
You gonna do that when Colombia in the semifinals?
I'm saying, listen to the way Gerard. Honestly, that is why Colombia is doing so well. But we'll get to them in just a second. Maybe not just a second. It's going to be a minute.
Oh, it's going to be a minute. We still got to talk England, Switzerland.
Jesus Christ. Oh, wait. Remember when you said you had to leave at 1:35?
Yeah, that ain't happening. This is going long.
Oh, look, good Lord.
I think if you want, in this era where everybody on Twitter is complaining about footy being dead and there's no individuality and everybody's just a robot and Pep
you have to
football,
go for Spain.
You want Spain to win.
You have to go for Spain, which is ironic because when you look at Barcelona and some of the players from Spain that play on Barcelona, I think that smacks of the things that I don't like in football. But when I see Spain play, I feel differently, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm very hesitant to buy into Barcelona post-Messi because it just doesn't feel right. Something feels wrong about it. But when I see Pedri or Lamine Yamal or any of the other players on Spain play in a red jersey, it feels right. It feels good. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I have to be pro Spain here. Not because of colonization, but because they have a very pretty jersey, and I like looking at the fans.
Well, you notice how like the Americans and the English were like allies now, even though never forget the Boston Tea Party. I mean, why can't Argentina and Spain be the same?
Why can't they be the same?
Why can't they be the same?
Because we got 3 stars, y'all got 1. Womp womp.
Yeah, we got more Euros than you.
We got more copas than you.
Well, if you trade, technically we can take credit for that.
How many finalísimas you got?
We're about to have 1 when we beat Colombia. Like and subscribe, baby.
Dude, what if Colombia beats you? Piqué's got to shut down the Kings.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I'd be so happy for Colombia.
I'd be stoked.
Like
I would be stoked.
I mean, CONMEBOL is...
This man's forsaking his heritage. All because he thinks Shakira's really
they're on
pretty.
top, bro. Well, that's Mexico's fault. That's why I'm even talking on this podcast right now. Let's move on to England versus the Netherlands. England also playing dead football, but at least they're both conceding and scoring, unlike France. Like at least they're giving us 1-1s. The French are giving us 0-0s.
How many times can I ask you something?
Yeah.
How many times has England gone down a goal and then scored in the late minute? Is it just the last 2 games? Or has this been a pattern?
Yes, because they've only scored 4 goals. Yeah. I mean, Denmark, they go up first.
Who has scored their goals?
Jude's got 2. Harry Kane's got 1. Saka's got 1.
Shocking. But we don't have to talk too much about England yet, or do you want to talk?
Well, the team is certainly lackluster, but just like France, they're getting it done.
They're getting it done, and frankly, that's all that matters.
Frankly, that's all that matters, and I'm going to be a bit of a hater here. When I look at the Dutch side, I think defensively how bad they've looked, given the individual personnel in that team, that's concerning to me. I mean, they were a little fortunate against Turkey, to be honest.
Yeah.
We were watching the highlights back. I mean, the amount of like Turkish attacks near the end of the game that if not for some beast mode saves, I mean, we're looking at an equalizer. We're going to extra time.
Yep.
Some last-ditch tackles. I mean, they just don't look sound.
No.
And this is the thing. Both Spain and the Netherlands are coming into this with little prettier attacks. I mean, Spain is up here, the Netherlands is like here, and then France and England just like they're not even on the screen. That's how like poor the teams look in terms of a flow.
Right.
But you have to ask yourself, okay, well, do you want pretty football or do you want the result? Because England are giving you the result. You could call it luck. You could call it just individual talent. I think it's both. But on the flip side, you got a Dutch side that has looked very vulnerable.
I think you're exactly correct. You know, I hadn't really considered that, but that's an excellent question to ask yourself. Do you want pretty football or do you want the result?
Or do you want to win?
Do you look at, I mean, I think that's what makes this World Cup with Argentina so special. Like a lot of neutrals were saying, it was a really excellent game in the final. That's because it was pretty on both sides, right? But if you look at 2014, that game, that was not a pretty game. Ended 1-0 in extra time.
Yeah.
Off of a corner kick, a set piece it had to be. Like, yeah, you have to take into account what it looks like. Argentina's path to the final was not. I believe so.
Set piece? Oh, okay.
It was a cross in, and we
ain't got time for this.
It might have been taken short. Like it was after a set piece, if not directly.
All right.
I think my point is that if you have to sacrifice one, the needs, right, and what you want cannot conflict. You have to sacrifice everything that you want, and you have to go for what works. So if Spain really does have better chances playing France's style of football, then I'm sorry, you've got to lose the, what is it, not juego bonito, but juega lindo.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to lose the tiki-taka.
Yeah.
You got to lose the Spain. You got to lose the flamenco. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't have Lamine Yamal on the side.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to do the little head nod.
You can't be doing no Gypsy King.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not Footloose.
Are the Gypsy Kings? They're Spanish, right?
No idea.
They're flamenco, I believe.
No say.
You know what? You were asking me what kind of music I listen to in the gym. I've been listening to a lot of flamenco.
That's very interesting.
You know the ones where they're like clapping. They're like, And then it's like 30 guys clapping, and it's all a different, unique beat.
I listen to exclusively Brooklyn drill and Spanish breakup music.
Name one neighborhood in Brooklyn.
What neighborhood in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Bed-Stuy.
Name two neighborhoods in Brooklyn.
Williamsburg. Bed-Stuy.
Williamsburg don't count.
Flatbush.
That's glorified Manhattan.
Flatbush.
That's because I got a map right here. Y'all can't see it, but it's up there.
I got 3. Smash the like button.
Damn it.
Anyways, I also think when you talk about the Dutch, I said this when we went on the give and go, they don't beat good teams. Like, they don't beat the great teams under Koeman. I think they looked very, very bad against Austria, and I think they looked painfully average against Turkey. And now they're coming up against an England team that, even though they played Deadwood, they're still very difficult to break down. And we've seen England on 2 different occasions now, when they had no freaking choice, they had to respond and attack and go for it. And in both cases, they won the game.
Yep.
Once on penalties, once off 2 goals. So I think England's going to win this one. I'm going to go... Did the Dutch score? I think they might. I'm going to go 2-1 England here.
I think I've got to agree with you. When the English turn on the burners there at what you can only assume will be the 75th minute of the game, I think they
probably
do. No, but the 75th is when they start, and then they probably score 10 to 12 minutes later.
Okay, yeah.
Sadly. I think the English will be overtly pragmatic. That'll still lead to a Dutch goal somehow, just by ineptitude or a moment of individual Dutch brilliance. I don't know. Wout Weghorst is somehow going to score a screamer. The man has been desperate for a goal. That would be crazy.
On John Stones, that'd be crazy.
He might, which would be sick.
Offensively, the Dutch are good. I just don't understand why their back line looks so bad right now.
I don't either. With the talent that they have, you would think that it would be significantly better.
The talent is crazy.
The talent is insane.
The Dutch were mad at us because they were saying they have the best defense at the Euro. I mean, it hasn't looked like it.
I mean, on paper, potentially.
Yeah,
you have the 2 best center backs, but I don't...
It's France, hands down.
It's France now. Yes, 100%.
It's been France the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
It will continue to be France unless Spain win 5-0.
Yep.
Is England really going to score 2? Like, that's great.
Think about
We're
it. Think about
banking
it this
on something
way.
that's not happened.
Think about it this way. England is going to score 1, no matter what. That is just what they do, right? It is the bare minimum they are going to squeak by. You can give them, at minimum, a C.
Yeah.
A C average grade. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
By hook or by crook, they get there to the C. So, if they can hold the Dutch to 1 goal, they get 1 goal, we go into extra time, I think that you have to bank on the English, on the young players there. Because think about it this way. Do you think that England will get 2 goals, or do you think that the Dutch will score 2 goals? If the Dutch can score 2 goals, if the Dutch score 2 in 90 minutes, they win. England cannot get more than 2 in 90 minutes.
Yeah. I think Depay, Gakpo been balling out. Weghorst, he just changes games off the bench.
Yeah.
The talent is too good to not score.
Yeah.
But to get 2?
To get 2 is asking a lot.
Well, now we're banking on 2 things that ain't happened. You know, England conceding 2 and England scoring 2 in the same game. Like,
yeah.
We're just.
Well, that's the thing. It's like everything has looked like an inevitability in these Euros, right?
Yeah.
Everything is so compartmentalized and tactically consistent. And now we're coming up where it's like, oh, a quote-unquote unstoppable force meets a quote-unquote immovable object, you know? That's just what I'm using in this metaphor.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that England is unstoppable.
That's very flattering.
They've looked very stoppable. Yes. And the Dutch, too. Frankly, that's France, Spain. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's more of a...
We are highly invested in the other side of this bracket.
Yeah. Dude, if England lose this game, though, that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah. You know what? As an ethnic neutral in this game,
okay,
I have no idea what I want to see happen. Because I don't like England, and I feel like, as an Argentine, you don't want England to win more than the Dutch.
Doesn't sound very neutral.
However, I have English family members. And so for them, I want England to do well.
Okay.
But also, I hate the Dutch, so I want the Dutch to lose, so maybe that's another boost for England.
I mean, I haven't gotten over No Era Penal. And I love my boy Kane.
So it's 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup?
So I'm heavily rooting for England in this game.
It's coming home. It's coming home, lads.
It might be coming home.
At least for this match. If France wins, if France beats Spain, it's coming home. I'm getting a jersey.
That's about to be the most trash final.
It's gonna be garbage.
The history of the Euros.
It's gonna look just like Agincourt. The English are gonna be holed up in one side.
Well, Agincourt was a massacre. I think it's gonna look like
dribble around.
I don't know what it's gonna look like.
No, but I mean, in that Henry V's armies were completely disease-ridden, malnourished, and fighting from a distance with longbows, right? There was no actual play. It was just longbows over the top that happened to take out the Dauphin's forces pretty soundly.
It was a very muddy battlefield as well.
Muddy, messy.
And I feel like that's what the game would play out like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would not be pretty football.
Gosh, if we get Spain, Netherlands, which is, I mean, that's a derby as well. If we get that in the third place game, I'd be disappointed. Like, I would love that to be a final.
I think everybody, that's objectively, football champagne would be Spain, Netherlands.
That would be the best thing to happen to the Euro.
Yes, correct.
I mean, the English will be furious at that.
The English will be furious. Inferno, I can already see him.
I mean, stop being boring.
Up, yeah.
I mean,
that's not even anything against England. It's just against Southgate at this point. Like, I blame him completely.
I mean, dude, even in the extra time against Switzerland, I mean, England did nothing.
No, they did. They looked completely unexceptional.
They did nothing.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, if you're trying to grease 2004 your way to a Euro, go for it, I guess, but just don't expect people to come to your side, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't play like ass and then also get mad when people say you've been playing like ass.
Yeah.
You know, if you win the trophy, fair play. It worked for you. But don't expect, you know, the global fan base to start getting the Union Jack, you know.
No.
But the England flag tatted on our neck. Like, we're going to be like, yeah, y'all won it, but we hope we never see you again.
But at what cost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for destroying the game just to get your first Euro. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll all have to. I think they would win it in spite of their defense.
Which just doesn't make any sense.
No.
And we're going to have to end this in spite of our plans to do the Copa America right now. We're going to have to
do this there, yeah.
Let us know your thoughts, your predictions for the Euro down below in the comments, guys. If you want to see our Copa America semifinal predictions, that will be dropping on the channel at another time. Smash the like button if you could. Check out our social media links. We won't be able to go live for these Euro games, but we will try to do a match recap. We'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, I need it back.
Yeah, I got to